The current US men's national team generation is still fairly young, but sometimes one has to wonder, how is the next generation looking? After all, the last thing we need after the current generation is a lost generation, like we had prior to the current one, which led to the US men's national team not qualifying for the 2018 World Cup. With a U20 World Cup set to happen in late 2025, who are the most promising US men's national team prospects right now? Well, today we are going to go through a few names that you must keep track of over the next 12 months. Hello. If you are new here, I'm Filippo and welcome to Tactical Manager TV, and welcome to today's episode where we will dive in to a few US men's national team U20 prospects. Now, before we start, here are a few things that you must know. By U20 players in this video, I mean any players that are 20 years old or younger, so essentially born in 2004 or after. Now keep in mind that for the players to be eligible for the U20 World Cup in 2025, they must actually be born in 2005 or later, which means some, not all, just a few of them, of the players that I'm going to mention in this video, they are U20s at the time of this recording, but they will not be eligible for the U20 World Cup. But don't worry, most of the players, almost all of them that I'm going to mention in this video, will be eligible for the U20 World Cup next year. Now keep in mind that I'm also not going to be diving into details for every single player because there are many of them to cover. My goal here is mainly to provide the names of promising players that you can keep track of over the next 12 months and get familiar with them. I will do some quick comments and takes here and there, and I will be rating each prospect from 1 to 5 stars based on their potential, in my humble opinion, obviously. A 5-star rating will be a world-class potential. 5-star rating will be an elite level player, like a Christian Pulisic. 3-star rating will be a very good top 5 league player, like an Anthony Robinson, Weston McKennie, and even it can range from a Joe Scally up to them, right? Any player that's capable of holding their own very well in a top 5 league. A 2-star rating will be a player that has a possible future with the US men's national team as a roster player, maybe a very good Eredivisie player, an EFL championship guy, something like a Josh Sargent maybe. Now a 1-star rating will be a good MLS player, or maybe an average Eredivisie player in the future, but not someone great. I guess someone like a Georgi Mihailovic would be the perfect example. Really good in MLS, then flop in the Eredivisie. I also want to give a shout out to Usmnt Reports on X. He helped me with this list, and he's a tremendous follow in that app, so I'm gonna put his link or his handle in the description of this video. Okay, now before we start, don't forget to drop a like in this video. It helps us a lot. And let us know in the comment section down below your ratings for every single player that I'm going to mention in this video. And remember, we are rating their potential. It's subjective, it's tough, and we are very likely going to be wrong. But who cares? We're going to do it anyway. Okay, we're gonna go by positions. We're gonna start the goalkeepers and work our way up the field all the way to the forwards. So let's start the goalkeepers. The first one being Diego Cochin, who plays for Barcelona B and occasionally makes the bench for Barcelona. He has been called in here and there for the US men's national team senior team, but hasn't really played a single game for us at the time of this recording. The 18-year-old goalkeeper is likely our highest ceiling goalkeeper prospect right now. However, he has never really played a professional minute, so it's tough to know how good he actually is right now and how good he actually can become. He is rated as a very good shot stopper and a player that is extremely good with his feet, a goalkeeper that's really good with his feet. It's going to be fun to keep track of him over the next 12 months and, I mean, throughout his entire career, and he is eligible for the U20 World Cup in 2025, which I hope to see him there. Look, and for his potential, I think he's a 5-star potential player. He is a potential world-class goalkeeper. Will he live up to that expectation? Will he reach his maximum potential? Only time will tell. But the ceiling is a world-class goalkeeper. And clearly Barcelona agrees with me. Now, the other goalkeeper that I'm going to mention is Gabriel Slonina, that belongs to Chelsea and is currently on a loan with Barnsley. Now, he was born in 2004, so he's a U20 prospect at the time of this recording, but he's not eligible for the U20 World Cup in 2025. He's a goalkeeper that has professional minutes, a lot of professional minutes, right? He played in MLS, he played in Belgium, now he plays in the 3rd Division of England. Right now, as a professional player, I'm just going to say it, he's still not very good. He has a lot to develop. but there's something there. There's talent, and he's still very young. Keep in mind, the goalkeeper position takes much longer to develop. So there's hope for Gabriel Sonina despite his struggles. So of course, I have to call a spade a spade. He hasn't really impressed me so far, but the potential is there. I'm gonna give Gabriel Sonina a 3-star max potential. I think that's his ceiling. He can eventually become a top 5 league goalkeeper, which is really good. So just to recap, Diego Cochin and Gabriel Sonina are the 2 U20 goalkeepers that you should keep track of over the next 12 months or for their entire careers. Next up, we have the fullbacks. And the first one I want to talk about is Peyton Miller from the New England Revolution. He is a left back that you should keep track of. He got a good stretch of game for them in MLS late in the season. He played 10 games and got 2 assists, mainly playing as a left back. Sure, he was fairly inconsistent for them at times, but the dude is 16. The talent is there, and I rate him a 2-star prospect. If he develops, he can definitely make it to a US men's national team roster in the future and, you know, maybe be a good player in the Eredivisie, maybe be a good player also in the EFL Championship. So I rate him a 2-star prospect. The other fullback is also a left back, and his name is Caleb Wiley. He played for Atlanta United in MLS, then he moved to Chelsea, and he's currently on a loan in France playing for Strasbourg. And Caleb Wiley is very talented. He was also the backup left back for the US men's national team in the Olympics. He was the backup to John Token. He was born, though, in December of 2004. So due to like 10 days, he's actually not eligible for the U20 World Cup in 2025, which is fine because I doubt he was going to be released by his club anyway. Caleb Wiley, in my opinion, is a 3-star potential prospect. I am hoping that one day he's going to be a very good top 5 league player. And I actually bought his card on SoRare, hoping that the value will go up and that he will also perform and help me win rewards. And SoRare, they are the sponsors of this video, and I'll talk more about them later. The last fullback that I want to talk about, he currently plays for another youth national team. He's a dual national. He actually plays for the England U18s right now. He's the 17-year-old left back from New York City FC, Christian McFarlane. He has played for the US men's national team youth teams in the past, but as I said, recently he was with England's U18s. He is eligible for both countries, and in my opinion, he is also a 3-star potential prospect, just like Caleb Wiley. Okay, now before we continue for the other players in different positions, a quick word from the sponsor of this video, SoRare. And if you want to play SoRare with a special offer of $50 in credits, use the link in the description of this video. We'll be back in 60 to 90 seconds. Do you collect sports cards? Do you play fantasy sports? Yes, no, maybe? If you said yes to any of that, I got something for you. And if you said no, you might still want to stick around. Tactical Manager TV is partnering up with SoRare with a special offer. The link will be in the description. In SoRare, you can collect your own virtual cards of your favorite players. And then you may be asking, why would I want to collect virtual cards? Well, you can line them up on 5-a-side games every single week. And if your players perform in real life, you can win actual money, signed jerseys, game tickets, or even more cards to improve your own club. And you can also get unique experiences like a friend of the channel, Fiago, that got to meet Zinedine Zidane. You know what's also cool? They also have the NBA and Major League Baseball. I'm mainly gonna just stick to soccer, but you do you. What I really like about SoRare before we even partnered with them is that they're unlike other fantasy games where you have to pay per play. In SoRare, you pay to get the players you want permanently as cards, and then you can play multiple times using those same cards, at least until the player retires, win rewards if your players perform in real life. You can also buy undervalued player cards for cheap, then hold, use them in the future when they improve or develop, and then you can even sell that card when its value goes up for better ones. Or just keep the money yourself. If you sign up with the link in the description of this video, you will get $50 in credit to buy your first cards. Again, the link will be in the description. Use that link to make sure you get the special offer. Play with responsibility. All right, enjoy. Okay, we are back. Next up, we have the center backs. The first one being Josh Winder, that currently plays for Benfica's B team, and he is an interesting one. He was born in 2005, so he is eligible for the U20 World Cup. He seems to have all the tools to play as a ball-playing defender. He did very well in USL for Lou City at a very young age, and now Benfica seems to rate him. He's someone to keep an eye on. To me, he is a 3-star prospect. He has the potential to be a good top 5 league center back. Now, the other very interesting one that I want to talk about here is Noah Kai Banks, a center back born in 2006 at Hawaii that currently plays for Augsburg's B team, but has made the bench for them this season due to injuries. He is just 17. He has the athleticism and the ability on the ball, the technical ability. He can pick a pass. He can dribble into space in the midfield to progress the ball forward in possession. At least at the U20 level, he could do that. If he can do it at the pro level, it remains to be seen. But I can assure you one thing, he is very talented, and I actually hope to see Noah Kai Banks with the US men's national team U20s in the World Cup next year. And I'm gonna rate Noah Kai Banks a 3-star potential prospect. I believe he will be good enough. I think he will actually be good enough to be a good top 5 league center back. And just for context, when I talk about like 3-star potential for center backs, that's more or less where I would rate like Chris Richards and his ceiling. So these are good center backs that I'm talking about. Last but not least, we have a center back that I rate below the ones I mentioned, but you should definitely keep track of him. And his name is Mathai Akimboni, the center back born in 2006 that currently plays for DC United. He actually barely plays for them in MLS because they're pretty clueless, so there's that. Apparently they rejected a few offers from Bournemouth that was trying to sign Akimboni. He's also like very tall. Like, this is a very big guy. He's like 6'3", and he's what, 17? And he's 6'3". Erling Haaland, for context, is 6'5". So we're talking about a very big center back right here. And on the ball, he seems to have, enough technical ability to play as a ball-playing defender at times, at least more than players like Walker Zimmerman and Miles Robinson. To me, Mathai Akimboni is a 2-star potential prospect, which means he should be able to be a very good EFL Championship center back, a very good Eredivisie center back, and maybe he might surprise us and even play in the top 5 league in the future. So again, Josh Winder from Benfica B, Noah Kai Banks from Augsburg B, and he's only 17, and then Mathai Akimboni that currently plays for DC United in MLS. Next up, we have the midfielders, and I have to start with the player that's probably the most hyped one right now, Kevin Sullivan. The 15-year-old attacking midfielder from the Philadelphia Union that has already signed the deal with Manchester City that he'll head there once he turns 18. Now, you may be wondering, will he ever actually play for Manchester City? The answer to that is probably not, but it's obviously not impossible. I wouldn't bet on it. Regardless, the ceiling with this player, the potential with this player is pretty freaking high. And I actually got Kevin Sullivan's card on SoRare for just $14. My hope is that eventually he starts to actually perform at a high level in MLS and helps me win multiple rewards on SoRare. And for that price, if he becomes as good as people expect, it was a bargain. And that just shows you that I actually believe in this kid over the long term. He is one of our highest ceiling prospects, and he's expected to even get minutes for Philly in 2025. I know he got like 9 minutes for them this season, but come on, you know what I mean here. Like, I mean actual minutes. And I rate Kevin Sullivan a 4-star prospect. He has massive potential, tremendous potential, but only time will tell how good he can become. I don't think he is a world-class prospect. I don't think he'll be a world-class player. I don't think he'll be better than like Christian Pulisic. If I were to rate Christian Pulisic, I would say Pulisic is around 4.5, somewhere between elite and world-class. Kevin Sullivan to me is around 4, which is huge, right? It would be a fantastic player for us. I hope I'm wrong. I hope he becomes a world-class player. I just don't think the potential is there. Based on what I have seen so far, there's not that much data on him, especially at a professional level. There's barely any data with Kevin Sullivan at a professional level. Next up, we have Pedro Soma, the 18-year-old Brazilian-American central defensive midfielder that plays for Barcelona B, just like Diego Cochen, and at times, they play him as a right back. He has been very good for our youth teams as a central defensive midfielder. He is talented. I don't think he will ever really play for Barcelona. I don't think he's a Barcelona level player, but I do think he has the potential to be a good top 5 league player. And to me, Pedro Soma is a 3-star potential prospect. Now, the other midfield that I want to talk about here is Maxi Carrizo that currently plays for New York City FC's B team in MLS Next Pro. He's only 16, but he's a much different player profile from the standard American player. There's a lot of potential there. I'm hoping he gets a few minutes here and there for New York City FC next season in MLS when he turns 17. And I currently rate Maxi Carrizo as a 3-star potential prospect. He has the talent to be a good top 5 league player. Now, I was also going to talk about Ben Cremaschi. I believe he is eligible for the U20 World Cup in 2025, but I was going to give him I am going to give him a 1-star rating, right? I was just going to say that he can be a very good MLS player in my opinion. I don't really rate him too much. He's definitely not a bad player, but I think the Messi effect got him a little bit too overhyped. But I did buy his So Rare card, so there's that. I do believe him long term in MLS. I don't think he's going to be a US men's national team player in the future. But as I said, I do think Ben Cremaschi will have a very good long-term MLS career. But I'm open to being wrong. I hope he goes to Europe and does well, but that's just my current opinion on him. Last but not least, we have the forwards, which means it would be the center forwards and wingers. The first one being Julian Hall, a promising center forward that can also play out wide. He's still very young, so it's unclear if he will be a center forward or a winger over the long run. But he's a very talented forward for the New York Red Bulls. He's only 16 years old, but he still managed to get 150 minutes in MLS this season while also scoring 2 goals and getting an assist. He is very promising, he's very good, and I actually bought his So Rare card also for less than $3. And honestly, less than $3 for this kid right now, in the future, this probably was a bargain. I think it was a bargain. The next forward is Mathis Albert, and he is only 15, currently playing as a winger for Borussia Dortmund's U19s. And he has been actually incredible for them. Keep in mind, as I said, he is just 15. So I would not expect him to break through Dortmund's senior team for another 2, 3, or 4 years, depending on how he develops. For context, just so you know, he's actually the youngest player right now in Dortmund's U19 roster, and he starts for them. In case you are wondering, he's a right-footed player that can play on both wings, on the left wing, on the right wing, and he was originally from the LA Galaxy Academy, but he joined Borussia Dortmund this year in 2024 at age 15. Out of the field players that I mentioned in this video, to me, he is the highest ceiling. Yes, I've said it. I am not convinced that he will be world class, so I can't really give him 5 stars, but I'm going to give him a 4.5 potential star rating, which is higher than Kevin Sullivan. If Mathis Albert continues to develop very well, he has the potential, in my opinion, to be as good as Christian Pulisic. Will he be? That's tough. Christian Pulisic's incredible. He's the best US men's national team player of all time. But it's possible. This kid is the real deal. He is really good. And I believe he's actually eligible to play for France and Germany, but I'm hoping he sticks to the United States. After all, he is American. The next player also plays for Borussia Dortmund, and y'all might be actually familiar with him by now. It's the explosive 18-year-old left-footed winger Cole Campbell that actually currently plays for Dortmund's senior team. He has been getting minutes here and there for them off the bench at the time of this recording, but he hasn't really stood out yet. But he also hasn't really looked out of place in the Bundesliga. He's talented, for sure. He could be playing for the US men's national team senior team very soon, maybe in 2025. But as of now, he is with the U20s. He made his Dortmund's debut as a teenager, just like Gio Reyna and Christian Pulisic. But I won't give him the same rating as like Christian Pulisic, like 4, 4.5. To me, Cole Campbell is more of a 3-star potential prospect, which is still freaking good. Last but not least, in the forwards position, I want to give a shout out to Berchimas that plays for Charlotte FC in MLS. Because I expect him to be in the U20 World Cup, and this kid was born in 2008, so he's currently 16. And yes, he still has a lot to work on his game, but there's something there. He's a very talented winger. He is one of our best U18 forwards, and he should be good enough to make the U20 roster next year for the World Cup, especially because a few wingers might not get released. In my opinion, Berchimas is a 2-star potential prospect, so I wanted to at least mention him. Okay everyone, if you made it this far in the video, don't forget to drop a like. Now before we close it, I'm gonna quickly recap the names and the star potential that I gave to each player. So for the goalkeepers, I gave Diego Cochin a 5-star potential and Gabriel Sonina a 3-star potential. For the fullbacks, I gave Peyton Miller a 2-star potential, Caleb Wiley a 3-star potential, and Christian McFarland a 3-star potential as well. Now for the center backs, Josh Winder and Noah Kai Banks got a 3-star potential rating from myself, and Mattia Kimboni got a 2-star potential rating. For the midfielders, I gave Kevin Sullivan 4 stars, Pedro Soma 3 stars, Carrizo or Maxi Carrizo 3 stars, and Ben Cremaschi a 1-star potential. For the forwards, I gave Julian Hall 3 stars, Mathis Albert a 4.5-star potential rating, Cole Campbell 3 stars, and Berchimas from Charlotte FC, 2 stars. Alright everyone, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much So Rare for sponsoring this video. And that's all for today. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Let's keep track of these players and let's hope I am wrong about every single player that I'm rated for the better, right? Let's hope that their star rating from what I gave is much higher and that I'm wrong about their ceiling. Their ceiling is even higher than what I'm projecting. Now I want to thank you all very much for watching and have a great day.